All right, welcome in. We're doing episode 4, Third and Thirsty podcast. We're still rolling. Haven't shut it down yet. We're going to be getting into a couple different things here today. We're going to finish up our draft. We're going to do the defensive side here today, doing the ultimate tank team. I'll save that for last. We're going to get into some matchups for next season that we're looking forward to. Some that we're maybe not looking forward to. And then we're going to get into some teams that we hate outside of the division. Even though obviously we hate our divisional teams the most, there's still some teams out there that we strongly dislike.
I don't know. I think I got a good one.
I think we all hate a lot of the same, like, big brand teams, you know what I'm saying? Big market teams that everybody has a lot of annoying fans. I mean, some of them might be our teams that people out there think it could be, but
there's a lot out there. There's definitely a lot out there that the Broncos have hated in the past. Right now, it's kind of limited, so I kind of went off the wall a little bit. But we'll get into that a little bit later. You guys watch the Masters?
I did not.
catch a little bit of it.
How did you not watch all day yesterday, man?
I got kids, I got a family, and I was just kind of lazy.
That's the perfect lazy day thing, man. Masters Sunday.
Yeah,
And I was busy too. Gigi was going crazy, and I was doing taxes. So
How fun.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. But man, Rory, that was awesome. I know you don't give a shit about golf, but man, seeing him win, that was incredible.
Yeah, you could see the emotion he really had. That was something that he really wanted.
Yeah, that's like 15 years of build up and disappointment, and finally got to the top. Man, what a roller coaster!
And then
15 years?
Just him not being able to win the Masters.
And then to do the Masters as the finishing touch for the Grand Slam, that's the best one to end on. If you had to choose probably which one he wanted to end on, that would probably be the one.
It's pretty special, man, for him to be able to keep his composure after missing that putt on 18 to win. To be able to go into that playoff hole and knock in that approach shot.
Hey, shout out to Rose though. He didn't give up even though he went down.
Dude, Rose played like a man on fire that back nine.
Still came back and gave it his all.
Yeah, he's a really cool player too, man. That's the cool thing about golf is there's so many good guys to root for, and then a lot of guys to hate. Shout out to all the live guys if you're listening. Except DeChambeau. DeChambeau's cool.
Get your money. Get your money.
Yeah, get your money. But that's a little off topic. Why don't we go ahead? We'll get into matchups for next year. Each of us will pick one that we're looking forward to. And then we'll get into one that maybe we're a little bit worried about already at this point in the offseason. So we'll go ahead and kick it off with Omar and the Chargers.
So I think for the Chargers, I mean, it's still going to be a different team, even a different team that we had last year. We had a lot of new pieces, still with a draft up to come. Still
that new guy, Mike Williams.
The new old guy, Mike Williams. But no, just new pieces overall. We lost a couple guys like we've talked about before, but a matchup that I'm excited to see just because of the new pieces is the game we ended off of was the playoff game versus the Texans. I feel like we'll be better in the areas where we got exploited in, which is the interior. So far, we've added to the interior. We had nobody but Ladd before on offense. Even though Quentin took a step forward, it wasn't a big enough step forward.
Did you guys change quarterbacks?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
So that's gonna be tough.
Yeah. He didn't have a great game, but still, he didn't have any protection up front. Even our tackles, who are, I mean, that's the key to our offense right now is our offensive line, and our tackles are our mainstays. So building that interior back up is only going to help that. But I just kind of more personally, I just want to get back at them. I kind of want that ass whooping hurt. It hurt. We needed it just because I feel like we overachieved, and getting further would have just kind of like held us, kind of got us too excited. And now this ass whooping is what we needed to come in for this year, which is what we all thought as a Chargers fan. I thought last year was going to be a rebuilding year. That's why I say we overachieved and made it to the playoffs.
It's a pretty sunny way to look at it. Like
Hey,
I'd rather get my ass kicked.
I gotta talk my way into. I gotta talk my way into
to win and actually perform better in the playoffs.
I gotta talk my way into hopefully getting a win against them this year. Hopefully switching the roles that we had in the playoffs, where maybe we're kicking their ass this time. And hopefully it's something that it comes early on in the season, because I want that get back right away.
I mean, you guys might beat them, but it's not going to count for anything.
What counts
the playoff win is a little bit more important.
Yeah, but what counts is the most recent. That's what you have. That's the only thing you have to build off, is the most recent. So.
Is there any player in particular on the Texans you don't like from that game?
Nico Collins, just because
he torched you guys.
Torched us, dude. Torched us so bad. Yeah, Nico Collins, and that's the only guy they had to stop. And they just let him get everything he wanted.
It was a little different with the Bills last year, and I knew the Broncos were not going to win that game. So I was hoping they make it a little bit closer. But one guy I came out of that game disliking was Matt Collins, stepping over PS2.
And Matt Collins is kind of weird just overall.
He was my favorite player.
Look, man, you had one play, but get the fuck out of here trying to step over the greatest player in the league.
That feels tight.
No, Matt Collins is weird. No shoes wearing.
That feels whack, man.
Feels tight.
He is whack. So a matchup I'm looking forward to next year. I was going to talk about the Broncos going up against the Commanders because of Bo versus Jaden. But we talked about that a little bit last week. So I'm just going to stay in the division and just go with the Chiefs. Bo Nix versus Mahomes. The one game that actually meant something where the Chiefs were playing their starters. The Broncos dominated that game from start to finish except for the last 3 seconds.
Voodoo magic.
Yeah, more voodoo magic for the Chiefs. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that's going to look like next year when they're on an even playing field and Mahomes is in and all those other dorks are on the field. I want to see what the Broncos are going to look like stacked against them now. And I feel really confident. I mean, even the year before with Russ, the Broncos played the Chiefs pretty tight. And I think they're really going to have their number next year.
Division games are tough. Division games, that's why I always say, even if it's last place team versus the first place team, it's always going to be a tough game.
For sure.
They just know each other so well. They play each other, say, twice a year. So it's just, you're used to what they do. You know what they do. It's up to each other to play that chess game, move the pieces around here and there. And
totally.
Hopefully somebody can outmaneuver the other as far as the head coaching comes.
Yeah, and I think we're finally starting to get to that point where the Chiefs are going on their downfall. The NFL, there's always so many cycles that go through top teams, and as long as they have Mahomes, obviously they're going to be competitive and be able to beat anybody out there. But I just don't see that domination like they've had the last, God, it feels like 100 years, but last 9-10 seasons where they've won the division.
Man, this pod is supposed to be about talking shit about each other's teams, but you choosing the Chiefs is just like we're all jumping on that wagon right now because we all hate the Chiefs.
I figured we start off positive. We talked about Rory winning the Masters. Now we're going to get into how much we hate the Chiefs. We'll get into some hate later.
Yeah, there'll definitely be hate. This is just putting a pause on that right now.
What about you, Edgar? Is there any matchup you're looking forward to?
Honestly, I'm just looking forward to the season because I'm excited to see all the new pieces, playing together to see how, it works out. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some learning flaws, but, we'll see how it goes. I mean, it can't get worse than fucking Minshew throwing 2 picks every game. But honestly, the one matchup that I can't wait to see, just because I'm going to be trying to go to this game and I have a lot of family members and I have a lot of friends that are like big fans, is going to be that Cowboys and Raiders game. Just because we're both teams that didn't do so well last year. We both are missing a lot of key players, and it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top of that one. Like, we both need running backs. We both have decent quarterbacks. I mean, one's overpaid than the other, but we'll see. But Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to see that game.
You're talking about Geno Smith being overpaid or Dak Prescott being
Dak
overpaid?
Prescott.
I don't know.
I mean, would you rather pay 60 million or 40?
I'd rather have a better quarterback, and Dak Prescott is a better quarterback.
So you pay him 60 million?
Yeah. I mean, I'd pay him $60 million over
That's
paying.
the going rate for a good quarterback nowadays.
And Dak Prescott is a good quarterback.
Matthew Stafford just got like barely 50.
Yeah, but he's on the decline.
Yeah.
He's on the
I'd rather take Stafford.
And at that point, he's probably giving them a hometown discount to try to bring in more people. Like they just brought in Adam. You know, he's doing the whole. I've made my money. Let's get a good team back going and let's give this one more shot.
Yeah, at a certain point, you think you've made him enough NFL money. It's not like he's not going to be making any money when he retires from the NFL.
Exactly.
He'll get a sweet gig with like Amazon or something like that.
So yeah, overall, I can't wait till the season starts, basically.
Yeah, I think we're already all there. And I've been waiting for the football season to start since the Broncos lost to the Bills.
So, like halfway through that game?
After the first quarter.
Okay.
It seemed like it was pretty.
At least you got that for. I mean, for me, it was until week 3 where I was like, "Fuck."
It was when we were watching PS2 run a slow motion for that touchdown, picking off Minshew.
Yeah, I remember that. I even remember fucking Minshew getting laid out by that defensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was funny. That's what your dumbass gets. Minshew, if you're listening, fuck you. Or rot in hell, bro. I'm just kidding. Good luck in KC being a bench warmer.
All right. So that's matchups that we're looking forward to. We'll go ahead and get into something that maybe looking at the opponents for next year, you're already starting to think about how you're going to defend yourself on the pod the next day.
Shoot, for me, I think they're going to have a big bounce back season. I'm going to go with the Vikings. I think they're
bounce back from 14 wins.
Well, I mean, because they lost their quarterback.
Yeah. No, they've lost some pieces, but bounce back.
Their
season.
Quarterback. Well, you know what I mean. Like they lost their quarterback, so I don't think they're going to fall too far off.
It depends on how JJ McCarthy's
playing. Yeah, but I mean, they're one of their games was their defense. Their defense was top notch this year.
If they can stay healthy, if that defense can stay healthy, they'll be good. But JJ McCarthy, like I remember Raiders played him in the preseason, and he looked legit. I mean, it was just a preseason game, but he was getting the ball out. He was, managing that offense. I mean, it just depends on how that season goes.
Yeah, and that's what he did in college was just manage an offense. He's not going to come in and be the top quarterback in the league right away. He's going to be that guy that takes care of the ball. I don't think he's going to try to come in and be making all the plays because he knows he has a good defense.
He has a ton of talent around him too on the offensive side. So.
Yeah, that's why I think they're not going to miss a step as far as they miss their quarterback, but I feel like JJ McCarthy is going to be good enough in his first year starting, especially sitting back a year and learning. Even though it was because he was hurt, he still had the whole preseason warm up, ramp up, and he got hurt right before the season started. So I feel like he's still got plenty of reps. He's still had the time in the film room to get all his reps in that way as well. So I feel like they're gonna be a good team, to
I've heard a lot of people saying to bring in Aaron Rodgers, but I was like, no, let that fool just play already.
Yeah. Especially if you drafted him that high. I mean, first round, might as well give him the shot.
Yeah, I don't understand why any team's even considering Rodgers at this point, especially the way he's played the last year and just all the baggage he brings. How old he is. It's just why even bother? Obviously, he was one of the best of all time, but so is Peyton Manning. I don't see a lot of people breaking down the door to see him play in 2025.
He was going to break his neck again.
Yeah, right. So at some point it's over, and it was over for Rodgers as soon as he tore his Achilles.
Yep.
Me looking at the Broncos' opponents, the one that jumps out just because of the game from last year that didn't go our way at the end of the season was the Bengals. And that offense with Burrow and Chase and Higgins. I mean, it's pretty tough to cover. It will be interesting to see how Riley Moss is going to line up on Higgins now that he won't be coming right off of that injury. So, there's a little bit of hope there, but man, the way Burrow just diced them up that game. And Bo Nix went toe-to-toe up until the end. Shout out Bo Nix, you're listening. But we'll see. That's going to be a tough one. Broncos have a lot of tough games, but that offense is really difficult.
It is going to be. We'll see how Bo Nix does. He had a good rookie year.
I'm not going to take any slander on this pod,
but we'll see how he does. Hey, everybody. Not saying that he's going to have a sophomore slump where he's going to play like shit, but maybe, he takes a little bit of a step back. Not as great as he was this first year, and see how he bounces back from that, first couple games. If he's getting baited into a couple bad throws, and hopefully he can, not for my sake, but for your sake, keep his head up and keep his composure up. And
he's already proven last year that he could do that. He's proven it his whole career. I mean, he failed at things didn't go as well in Auburn. We went over to Oregon and played much better. And then the beginning of last season, if you remember, week 1 he looked awful. Week 2 I got to see it in person. He looked terrible, even worse. Had that really good game week 3 against the Bucks, and then had negative yards at halftime against the Jets in the rain, something like that. So
good defense.
Yeah, and in really bad weather. But
yeah,
he had a terrible start to the season, and he persevered, and went out and played much better. It's kind of like the Rory McIlroy of the NFL. And he's going to go and get his green jacket next season.
So he's going to win, what is it? He's going to win the MVP. He's going to win Offensive Player of the Year.
No, that's Super Bowl, bro.
Super Bowl. He's going to do everything. No, I'm saying he's going to go for the Grand Slam in 1 year.
In one season. Now he'll just take the Super Bowl this year. That MVP will come later.
And you thought you were going to go with the scariest team was wherever Jerry Jeudy's playing.
Wherever he's playing. Yeah, no. We don't have Levi Wallace on the team anymore, so don't have to worry about that. All right, Edgar. Another tough one for you to pick, man.
Well, for me,
you got a lot to choose from.
For me, honestly, it's going to be any top defense, basically, with the
Broncos.
With stopping our run, because we don't have a running back.
Chargers, the number 1 scoring defense.
I mean, we'll see.
So Edgar's picking the NFL.
I mean, you say so, but we'll tell you. I know for a fact we're going to win like plenty of games, but just that running game, I don't know how it's going to go.
If you had to pick one team from the schedule this year, who would you go with that? Like, oh, damn, we're not beating that team for sure.
The Washington Commanders. The Eagles, the fucking
Chargers,
the Bills,
the Broncos.
I'll say one game versus Denver and maybe one game versus y'all in SoFi, but I'm pretty sure we have a chance. Like we'll be able to win at least one game, even with the bad team that we have.
Again, division games are weird, but they certainly won't be betting favorites. Put it that way.
No. I don't think they'll be betting favorites unless they play like the Jets.
Jets still have a better defense.
Yeah, man, you're better at talking shit about your team than we are.
No, I'm just saying the truth.
Are you sure you're Raiders fan?
I'm fucking saying the truth. Why am I gonna fucking say something that's not true? But we have players that they're gonna like help us win. But I'm not gonna lie. We do fucking need a running back. We need a running game. Last year we was like literally we were tied to last with the Cowboys. But
yeah, you're right. This is all before the draft. These things could change. Teams could get better in one draft, but that's damn. You can't really just pick one team. It says the Commanders, like you just went the whole NFL right away.
I just said any team. Well, yeah, basically any team that has like good defense.
So Omar's was the Vikings. Mine was the Bengals. And then Edgar's is just any team that has 11 beating hearts on the defense.
At least if they're good, because you never know. We are playing the Giants, and we beat them already.
Damn, the Raiders should have just signed Jameis
And we
Winston.
beat
He
fucking
would have been
Jaguars.
such perfect player for the Raiders.
Who?
Jameis Winston.
Oh man, yeah. No, that would have been great. And you wouldn't be spending a bunch of money on Geno Smith,
Yeah.
who's just gonna maybe get you like 6-7 wins and get you a worse draft pick.
That's what we need.
And you
We
won't
need
get
a better.
you won't get any good pep talks. So,
I mean, the Seahawks did beat the Broncos, didn't they?
Yeah, it was week 1. It was when Bo was still strong and the Broncos were figuring it out. Feel pretty confident the Broncos play the Seahawks with Geno Smith next season. But that's a hypothetical.
Yep.
So let's see. Get into some teams that we hate. Maybe we'll find some mutuals there.
yeah.
Omar started the last one. You want to just keep going, Edgar, and go over the team that you hate outside the division?
Sure. I'll go first. So I mean, for us, for the Raiders, or for me overall, I kind of gone to keep it in the Bay with the Niners, but I might as well keep it as close as possible, and I picked the Cowboys. Growing up, I've had so many friends, family members, just Cowboy fans, just always talking shit, and you know, it was just constant. Like, I mean, obviously, like during the 2006, 2008, we were just horrible. Raiders were doing so bad, and I just wish we could have played the Cowboys, but it never happened. And then it wasn't until 2017 when we played them, and that's where that index card game came out, where
Oh, that's right.
the Cowboys running or trying to get a first
I forgot
down,
about that.
and fucking Raiders stopped them, and I don't know, his stupid ass ref comes out with the index card that's folded in half, and fucking first down, shut your blind ass up. I know somebody will enjoy that shit, Junior.
Oh man.
But
Well, we won't have to worry about that this year with the footballs being chipped and determining the yards.
yeah,
Took long enough.
that shit took forever. But yeah, in 2021 we played them again, and yeah, it was the best Thanksgiving ever. Fucking Raiders beat them while fucking the Cowboys had a really good team, but you already know how they are. Fucking make it to the playoffs, first playoff game. But yeah, for me, the worst team that I literally to this day hate the most. I mean, the Broncos and the Chargers are pretty much there too.
Right.
But yeah, it'll be the Cowboys.
Is this mainly because of Junior?
No, it's not just Junior. There's other. I got another friend named Eddie. That was annoying as Cowboy fan too.
Shout out Eddie.
Yeah, shout out to Eddie. Shout out to fucking Rigo. Shout out to who else? I mean, there's a lot.
These people that you know, are they Cowboy fans because they're from the Dallas area, or are they just
They're just Cowboy
like
fans.
most Cowboy fans? They just somehow end up gravitating
Yeah.
towards them. That's interesting. I bet that doesn't happen so much anymore. So the Cowboys have been pretty
Bad
relevant
for a
the
while,
last
yeah.
4
I mean,
decades.
not bad, but mediocre. Like, even if they make the playoffs, they don't make it very far.
Yeah, like, I mean, back in the day, I mean, yeah, sure, like in the 80s. I mean, a lot of them are actually Cowboy fans because you know how they have that training camp in Oxnard.
Oh, that's true. And we're not far from there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's one of the reasons, but
That's
besides
true.
that, I have no idea.
Hmm.
I mean, for me, Raiders were a West Coast team. And I was never one of those teams that as soon as my team is fucking garbage, I'm going to fucking jump ship and go to somewhere else. So,
Yeah, that would have been when you were like 2. Well, by the time you were 2, you probably would have been like, no, all right, this team sucks. Let's just go to a different one.
Yeah, it wouldn't have lasted very long. Raiders have been bad for a pretty long time.
but yeah, when I was basically 12, that's when they were pretty good, but that's when we got cursed, that John Gruden curse.
Tom Brady tuck rule?
And that one too.
That one's the one. That's when I feel like, 'cause I mean, that was the championship, right? When tuck rule. Oh no, to
No,
go
we would have
to
to the championship. Yeah.
championship. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
But That's my team.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of hard to pick one for the Broncos so right now because the Broncos up until last season have been pretty irrelevant for the last decade. So it's hard to have a rival when you like suck, especially outside of your division. For the longest time, growing up a Bronco fan, it was the Patriots. You had to go outside the division. They always played each other, and it was always a primetime game. Always had Brady. Broncos, by the way, are the only team that Brady did not have a winning record against. Broncos did have his number. And they played a couple times in the playoffs and got a couple wins on them. So, those clashes with the Patriots always made me hate the Patriots for a long time. The Seahawks for a little bit after they finessed us and
After they destroyed y'all in the Super Bowl.
so, yeah, that started with the Super Bowl, obviously getting our ass kicked.
But even back to the Patriots, I feel like everybody from like 2007 on hated the Patriots up until like 3 years ago.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely, especially with Deflategate and
Everything, just all the winning they did.
Spygate.
The Spygate, yeah.
But all the winning they did. Cheating, but winning ultimately. So, I think everybody hated the Patriots at that point.
Yeah, I mean, they were the Chiefs of their day. And that's a good conversation to have, too. Which dynasty was more insufferable? Because with the Patriots, we already went over everything that we hated about them. I bet the Chiefs now, not only because they're good, but Jackson Mahomes and Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and
all the Swifties.
Fumblerooski and all this. So insufferable. Even if you're a Chiefs fan, you have to admit, like, all right, man, maybe it's a little bit too much. So Broncos have had a couple of different teams outside the division. Right now, on the field, there isn't really much, so I just went to a personal team that I dislike for different reasons. I'll start by saying this is all parody. If you are listening, Drew Rosenhaus, or anyone that represents Tyreek Hill, this is all parody. It's not serious. I'm joking. I'm laughing. Tyreek Hill has never met a woman that he hasn't beaten the living shit out of. I'll just go with the Dolphins. Tyreek Hill is a terrible human being. I wish nothing but bad things for him. He's beaten the living shit out of children, women, even again recently. So we'll start there. Obviously, my hate for him started with the Chiefs. And it never went away just because he went to the Dolphins. Another reason I don't like the Dolphins is there's a local establishment here that sells beers and wings by the name of Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't know if you guys ever heard it. And that's become like the Dolphins fan base here in the area.
Oh, is it?
It's been a couple of times I'm there on Football Sunday, and there's a group of them that are just like screaming at the TV. And by the way, if you're at a bar and you're watching football, don't be that guy that screams at the TV. Especially if it's like a bar where there's like families eating after church. Like they're just trying to get a nice bite and you're hovering over their table screaming at the TV. Don't do that ever.
But also, there's the thing of like, it's a sports bar. You kind of got to expect it to a certain degree.
To a certain degree, but also have some self-awareness and realize that you're...
you can yell, but maybe don't, not the profanity if there's kids around.
Yeah, don't yell at all. You look like an idiot. And trust me, if you see me watch a Bronco game at home, I'm screaming at the TV the whole time. But it's not in public at a bar. So that's another reason I dislike them. All different personal reasons. I do give them credit for their strategy with wearing white jerseys at home. You ever read about that or hear about that?
Yeah, because it's hot as hell.
Yeah, they're the only team that does it. They put the opposing team in their dark uniforms over in the sun on the sunny side of the stadium.
Yep. So, dark as hell. I mean, it's hot as hell. Sorry.
Like Tua, I hope he stays healthy and is able to continue his career. But the guy that he throws to is one of the most evil human beings on the planet, and I hope nothing good for him. All parody, just laughing. Do not sue me. All right, Omar.
There's a lot of teams. There's a couple teams, the ones that you guys mentioned. The Dolphins, not as much.
It's like I had to go off the wall on that
one. Cowboys, everybody hates the Cowboys. You mentioned the Niners. Everybody hates the Niners.
Cut in real quick with the Cowboys. That's, again, I talked about it a little bit before we recorded. I've never understood cowboy hate. Maybe it's because they're such a big brand and
I think
Brandon
it's more
America's
the. I
team.
think it's more the fans. than
Yeah,
the
it
actual
is.
team.
It's more of the
It's more of the
fans, to be
fans.
honest.
I don't know, man.
It's-
I like Junior.
And same thing.
Shout out Junior. Also, the
don't-
Broncos haven't lost to the Cowboys since 1995. So I only have one memory of the Broncos losing to the Cowboys.
But
and,
it's not even
very,
that.
very
It's
famous.
just the fans, just all the shit that the fans talk, and same thing with the Niners. It's the fans. I think if you hate a team, it's not just because they beat the team you like. At some point, it's just like everything, all the baggage that comes with it.
Yeah,
You know,
for
the
sure.
fans.
I hated
from,
Seahawk fans for a long time.
exactly. Like
Where they
Eagles
came
fans
out of
are-
nowhere.
Eagles fans.
Yeah,
are
that's
just-
the reason why. 12th man, my ass. You weren't there like 3 years before that started.
Yeah, Eagles fans are just notoriously known for being
Oh yeah,
shitty.
Oh,
fans.
Eagle fans? Yeah.
Yeah. So
But they'd be fun to actually go to a game. And, I mean, you'd have to wear an Eagles jersey just to
I
fit in.
know that. Like that's like the one place I would be like, fuck, do I really want to wear a Raiders jersey? Like,
I would
yeah,
not do
that
that.
that used to be Oakland. Shit.
Yeah, now it's
now it's
now it's a
not.
country club over there in Las
Yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah.
which is badass, bro. I fucking love that stadium.
But for me, for the team that I hate the most outside of the division, like I said, I'm not going with all the usual ones, but you guys might think it's a usual one because it is one of the key franchises in the NFL, which is the Steelers. I hate the Steelers. I hate their little yellow rag that they wave
Terrible
around. I don't even call it that because it's just a yellow rag. You know, that's what they use for everything. I don't know what else they use it for. They got a lot of things that they use rags for. Women, men, I don't know what they use them for, but still. But one personal fact about it is because I have a family that are Steelers fans. They're always talking shit. You know who you are. You know who you are. They're always talking shit. They're always
Shout out to one of our 6 listeners.
No, yeah, they're always talking shit. They're always, even if they're the worst team in the league, he's always trying to get me on like, oh, fake news. Like, oh, breaking news. The Chargers have traded Justin Herbert to the Steelers. And I'm like, for what? The entire franchise? Like, who else are you sending over besides the entire franchise? Are you sending over the Pittsburgh Pirates as well? Because that's what it would take to get Justin Herbert away from the Chargers at this point, especially to the Steelers.
I have a feeling the Pirates wouldn't do too well in LA with another team playing there.
No, but I'm saying that they would just own the franchise.
No.
I mean, getting TJ Watt doesn't sound bad.
He's got a couple years left. He's getting up in age. I'm not saying he's not a good player. He's still in the prime of his career, but football players' lifespan only lasts so long in the league.
Yeah, one of the teams that also I don't like is the Steelers, but I mean, there's not really much Steeler fans that I know,
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
so that's why I couldn't pick the Steelers. I mean, like I said, Cowboys, that's everywhere.
And they always said that, I mean, Ben Roethlisberger did have more wins, more championships because the Chargers never had one, but than Philip Rivers. But I think out of those 3 that got picked that year, I think Philip Rivers is the overall better quarterback. He just wasn't on a team that was a complete team for very long. There was always
Except for that
a
time
lot
he was
of
on the
things.
team with the number 1 offense and the number 1 defense.
The very first
Exactly, but we talked about that they had the worst special teams in the league.
the very first Super Bowl that I actually watched was Steelers versus the Seahawks in 2006,
Oh yeah,
and I was just like, damn. Like, that's when I think Ben was like a fucking, I want to say rookie, but he was like young.
mm-hmm. That's when the bus.
The bus
Won in
also.
Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they beat the Broncos in the AFC Championship game, so that was a tough memory for me. Jake Plummer was playing out of his mind that year.
I was like, fucking thanks, Edgar. Thanks for bringing up that memory.
But even with that, again, the Steelers are a team where like I just have a lot of respect for, so I don't hate.
They're a
too
good
much.
organization.
Yeah,
I will give
mean,
them that.
I think for me, it's just personal with my cousins.
No, totally. But yeah, man, Mike Tomlin. I know they're trying to run him out of town, but he's another guy that you hear all these cool stories about. Like, heard a story that he will grab some players that are coming into the year that draft that's coming up, and he'll take them out to dinner. Not even like a recruitment thing or like, hey, we're looking at drafting you. Players that he'll even straight up look like, hey, we don't have a need for you. But he takes them out to dinner and just kind of goes over like, okay, this is what life in the NFL is going to be like. This is what you need to be careful of. This is how you're going to manage your money. Really setting them up for that huge lifestyle change and what's coming their way, and really just making sure that they're going to be taken care of. So, like Mike Tomlin, and then their fans travel so well. That one game I went to in Denver last year was a home opener against the Steelers, and I mean, even with crazy Bronco fans, and they're always selling out the stadium, there was a lot of Steeler fans there in those stupid, terrible towns.
My cousin, whenever he goes on vacation during football season, he always tries to find, like, he even just Googles it, the nearest Steelers bar, because
they're all over the place.
They travel real well, and they're well known around the whole country, and they all get together. They, like you said, they're more like a family than anything else. And he says he's gone to places like Texas, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and just found a Steelers bar, and he said it fit right in.
Yep. So a lot of respect to the Steelers, but I do get not like.
But I still hate them.
Yeah. Well, do we get to the draft?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. Draft order. We didn't talk about that before. You started the last draft, right?
Yeah, but I guess that shouldn't be the same because it'd be unfair.
No, it would be unfair. Wait, no, you started because you picked.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, because I didn't pick Marcus Russell.
Right.
Yeah.
And you still ended up winning the draft. You went and got Paxton Lynch, which was just as bad. Just not as famous as a bust, but definitely.
That should count. That should have counted for more points. Like, for sure, the bust should have just gotten you just another level up on how bad it was.
I'm just shocked that you didn't pick him.
Well, let's go with you then, Omar.
All right.
Why don't you start? We'll for the defense, we're gonna do one corner, one safety, one linebacker, and one pass rusher. We'll say. So
and also a coach, right? We're coming back with a coach.
Yeah. Why don't we do an offensive coordinator to depend on with our really shitty defense that we're building? Pick an offensive coordinator that you're also depending on to tank and get you that number one pick.
All right.
I don't have one in mind, so I'm going to have to come up with one. But
I got one in mind that I don't think anybody will choose. So,
okay.
For my first pick, I'm going to go edge.
Okay.
And I'm going to go edge. I'm going to go Cleveland Farrell. He's the number one overall, but first round pick for the Raiders. Had big expectations and did not live up to them whatsoever. Right, Edgar?
Yep.
I don't think did he even finish out his rookie deal with them?
Yeah.
Did he?
He just didn't get the 5th-year option picked up.
Yeah. But I mean, by the time he got to that 4th year, he was mainly like a depth piece and like a special teams player. But yeah, that's my number one pick. Overall draft pick for me on my worst defense, Cleveland Farrell.
Okay. Good start. I'm going to go with the Raider. I feel like there's going to be a lot. When we did the offensive draft, you look back at like, damn, Raiders have had some pretty good running backs. I was like, hey, if they've actually had some pretty good wide receivers too. It's just been quarterback. But defense, they're littered with huge problems. One is very recent and stands out because of that. Had a very short career due to off-field issues, and this is cornerback Damon Arnett, Mr. Gunman, stupid big dumb idiot. Drafted first overall, or not first overall, first round pick, 19th overall. Shout out to Mike Mayock and John Gruden for making that pick. Somehow overlooked the fact that he was a stupid dummy. Not going to say any other bad words that are politically incorrect now. But man, they had a couple of really bad draft picks around that time. Got an off-field issues. This one's a lot funnier than the other one because in his, no one died.
No.
I'm
surprised nobody went with him on the last one, right? On the offense.
It's too dark, man. It's too dark. I wanted to, but I couldn't pull the trigger. Shout out
it was too easy.
Damon Arnett for that pun.
I mean, he was better than Quentin Johnson until he fucked it up.
Dude, he was really good, man. He was.
He
definitely-
really fucked up his career. That's one that
Life.
Yeah.
He didn't get life. He's out in
No, but I'm saying he fucked up his life.
Yeah,
Dude,
because-
not just his career, his life.
he's coming out in next
But
the next 2 years.
There's no way.
2027 he's
No,
out.
I mean, if anyone does it, it's the Raiders.
Yeah.
So
what
don't
about-
never say
contract.
never. Yeah.
What about the Patriots? They picked up Randall Cobb after he also killed somebody by hitting by driving under the influence.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like this one's.
I mean, I'm not saying someone's gonna pick him up,
I don't think
but
so.
Randall Cobb did do the same thing,
I don't think
and
so.
he had a good career even after all that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
But yeah, you guys got 2 good picks.
Yeah. Damon Arnett. You just know he's not going to be on the field because he'll be in jail.
Yep. Damn, you guys took already 2 of my players.
Yeah. A lot of Raiders on this list.
I'm gonna go pass rusher, and I don't really know much about this person. All I know is that he didn't really get much time, even though he was there for a couple of years. His name is Larry English, and he was with the Chargers.
Yep.
Yeah, he was actually with the Raiders as well.
Yep.
After he finished off his rookie contract with the Chargers, just like they always do, the Raiders picked up the scraps from what was left over, just because he was a high draft pick and they thought that they could turn him around. But just, Larry English was not a good player even when he was at the Chargers. I agree with you.
But I mean, he didn't even get no playing time, so
No. He came in. I think he was a high draft pick, maybe a second rounder. I want to say maybe a second rounder. But yeah, he was nothing special whatsoever.
neither with the Raiders because I don't even no idea
Yeah.
if they'd even picked him up.
So
Oh, we
you
go
get two
snake,
so
right?
It's a snake draft.
So I'm gonna go linebacker, and for my linebacker, I'm gonna go Kenneth Murray Jr.
Good pick.
Okay.
He had a good, decent career, but it really didn't go off after his rookie contract.
Not at all, man.
And covering was not his specialty, and he missed a lot of tackles.
Yeah,
He was decent, but not what they were hoping for.
not even decent, man. The only reason he started I think he started his 3 years, not his rookie year, but the 3 years after that, he started. The only reason he started because he was a first round draft pick that they traded up back into the first round to get him. Yeah, and he was just not good whatsoever. He always just looked like he was a step behind. He was an incredible athlete, strong, fast. He's just, I don't think it ever developed in his mind that he needs to start going after the ball now. It always seemed like he was just a step
slow.
behind. Yeah,
He was caught thinking more than playing.
exactly. That's a good pick.
Yeah, we've gotten some pretty good picks here so far. I'm going to keep that trend, and I'm going to go with my edge rusher here, and I'm going to go with Chandler Jones. Another Raider.
Raiders.
Another Raider that couldn't keep his shit together.
Crazy.
Went crazy.
Mental health is a bitch.
Yeah, hope he's doing okay, in all seriousness. But in regards to going for that number 1 overall pick, he's going to really help my team in accomplishing that goal.
You're about to have 2 players that are not even going to show up.
Exactly, and that's the goal, right? Your best ability is availability.
Yeah.
And I got 2 guys that will for sure not be on the field.
True.
And be incredibly expensive, at least in Chandler Jones's situation. So
You're a Broncos fan. You're used to it.
with
Russell Wilson.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Except we ended up getting our quarterback just a couple years later for much cheaper.
All right, so I'm up.
Yep.
Safety. I was gonna go first with a former Charger, but then I found a Raider that was even worse. Jonathan Abram. Yeah, Jonathan Abram was somebody I felt like I remember Edgar talking a lot about that if he could stay healthy, that would keep him on the field because he was a good player. But even when he got healthy, he just never Never found it.
He
But there was a lot of There was a lot of excitement around him even after what was it, Hard Knocks? They were on that year, and he was on Hard Knocks, and he made like he was like a bigger.
Well, the thing is that during the preseason and during some games, he was like a hard hitter, and that's what we were excited for. But when he laid out those hard hits, he was also getting hurt.
Yeah.
So it never really worked out. He went to the Seahawks, but after that, I don't remember.
Right, there was a lot of promise for him because was he a second round, third round pick?
No, he was also a first round.
Oh, first round. Damn.
He was drafted when Clelin Ferrell and.
Oh, was that pick that they got? The extra
third
pick that they got
from
for
the Cowboys. From the Cowboys.
Oh, from the Cowboys.
For we got a first round for Amari Cooper when we traded him to the Cowboys.
Damn,
excuse me,
That
sorry.
was a good one.
And both of those picks sucked. You guys got
Clelin Ferrell, yeah. I mean, Josh Jacobs was the only one that actually came through for us, and we still didn't sign him. You okay?
Yeah. So corner, I'm going close to home this one just because it finally got out of the contract at the end of last year. J.C. Jackson.
Damn.
J.C. Jackson.
That was another option that I had, but I went.
Yeah, you
I
took
was glad that you guys didn't pick him right away because it kind of kept him like in my back pocket.
Yeah, he's a good choice.
Yeah, he got his money and forgot how to play. That's the easiest way to say it.
Yep, that was a big signing when they got him.
It was like a $20 million a year signing for the number one corner.
I remember the Raiders
corner that
year. The Raiders were in that, and,
yeah.
and you guys were like, "No, we're gonna give him more." I was like, "Damn."
Yep. J.C. Jackson. Glad we're away from that contract. I think he tried to go back to the Patriots after that, and
He did, but they ended up releasing him a couple years after.
I think same year. They signed him. They released him. Yeah. I said he got his money and he just forgot how to play.
Damn, you guys are taking all my players.
Well, I'm about to take another. And I'm going with the same theme of someone who's more than likely not going to be on the field. And this is my linebacker, Aldon Smith. He's another one that just ran into quite a few issues with his tenure with the Raiders, a recurrent theme that you see throughout the decades.
Honestly, I forgot about Aldon Smith.
Yeah, I think Aldon Smith forgot about Aldon Smith. Signed a 1-year deal, played 9 games, and then suspended. So, substance abuse policy.
Smoking a blunt.
Yep, and played really, really poorly before getting suspended.
Yeah.
So, he did have 2 sacks against the Broncos in Week 5, apparently. So that must have been his highlight as a Raider.
Good enough for me.
Yeah. Yeah, wasn't good enough for the Raiders.
No. Yeah. Neither was the other picks. Yeah, so you guys took all my fucking players. I don't even know who the fuck I'm gonna pick now.
Nobody's picked offensive coordinator, just FYI.
That's right.
So I'm gonna go corner because this is the only corner that I have left, and his name is Damari Mathis. Another player that didn't get too much playing time, but he was like, what, for 3 years you guys had him?
Yeah, he was a rotation guy for the last couple of years. It had some rough games, but also had some pretty solid starts.
Yeah, so, but still didn't do as much. So, I mean, I didn't really get to see his stats. Like, it just showed that he only played for 3 years and didn't really do much.
He was okay. On and off the starting roster. But certainly not a terrible.
At least he's on the field, unlike all of Alex's players, either in jail or hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Damari Mathis, shout out if you're listening.
So you got another pick there, Edgar.
And for my other pick, obviously I need safety. Oh, I still need my offensive coordinator.
You can take the first one. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just do offensive coordinator, and it's gonna be the offensive coordinator that Raiders had last season, which I still can't fucking remember his name.
Damn, that's a good pick if you can't even remember your own offensive coordinator's
Luke
name.
Getsy.
No, Luke Getsy.
Yeah.
It was like I kept thinking of it, but I always what's his name? Greg Olson kept coming to my head. I don't know why. But yeah, Luke
He'd probably
Getsky.
be a better offensive coordinator than Luke Getsy.
No, Greg Olson's a really good quarterback coach. We ended up picking him up again because they want him to develop the next quarterback, and he's worked with a lot of good quarterbacks. But yeah, but Luke Getsky, fuck. I mean, where the fuck should I start? Worst fucking play caller. Actually, the first play or the first drive in all our fucking games were good, but as soon as that defense fucking like, you know, they like knew exactly what the Raiders were gonna do, he could not fucking change shit. You know, he couldn't fucking tweak anything. He just kept fucking doing just dumbass plays. But it wasn't until North Turner's son came in, and I mean, he was still trying to like he didn't want to teach a whole new offense. Like obviously he wasn't gonna be able to like in less than a week. But he started playing. He started, you know, making better calls, and they weren't the biggest change, but they were way better. Like you can tell, like the Raiders actually had like some kind of like they were trying to like what's that shit called? I was trying to think of a word for it. There was like a reason for it. Like they were actually trying to turn into a running team, which the running fucking game sucked. But it like if you know instead of like keep going at it, he would like adjust and be like, all right, we're gonna start doing fucking throws and like you know through the middle and stuff like that. So it wasn't just like he wasn't stubborn or he wasn't just like just making the wrong choices all the time. But yeah, Luke Getsky is my pick.
Okay. I guess I'm going to go and grab an offensive coordinator here, too. And I'm just going to keep it in-house for this one. The Broncos have had a lot of bad offenses the last 10 years or so. Up until recently, obviously. But I'm going to go with the one that Nathaniel Hackett brought in. And that was Justin Outen. He was the tight ends coach. Yeah, tight ends coach with Green Bay. So he brought him over with him. Obviously, didn't go very well with Russ as the quarterback, and Hackett was calling plays early to start the year. Houghton took over, and it never got better. He was obviously way out of his league, just like Nathaniel Hackett.
I was about to say Nathaniel Hackett was out of his league, so
yeah, all out, just terrible offensive coaching staff with Nathaniel Hackett. So
terrible offense overall.
Yeah, last in the league. So adds up. So yeah, I'll take Justin Outen as my offensive coordinator.
Pretty good. Worst in the leagues.
I'm building a pretty damn good team here, boys.
Yep. All right. Well, I got 2 picks. I think I just need a linebacker. You took Kenneth Murray. And someone else took Larry English. Damn. Chargers have had some really bad linebacker play. I'm going to go with Manti Te'o.
That's a good one.
I'm going to go with Manti Te'o, yeah.
That's a good one.
2nd round pick. I think it traded up for him. And he had all that baggage coming off college or coming out of college with that whole fake girlfriend, man, woman. I don't know what he's into. I'm not here to judge about all that, but
did you see that documentary?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did, and it's hilarious.
It wasn't hilarious. I'm sure Manti Te'o didn't think that was very funny.
But no, yeah, that's who I'm gonna go with. Just it just was super weird when the Chargers picked him. I was just like, I had no like feelings about it. I'm like, this is weird. I didn't know what he was all about. Like I knew what he was about as a player, but all the extra baggage that came with him just made me feel like, I don't know, I got to see him play. Maybe his play will make me forget about everything that comes with him, but it didn't.
Yeah, that's another linebacker that he has picked up that really great college player, but
yeah. And coming out of Notre Dame, so that powerhouse school, plays a lot of good teams. So he had proven himself against some of the top talent coming out of college. now offensive coordinator. And I am going to go with Joe Lombardi. Joe Lombardi is the guy that stands behind Sean Payton and gets called an offensive coordinator because Sean Payton has the head coaching title. So they have to give somebody else like that offensive coordinator title.
Mm-hmm.
So Sean Payton calls the plays, and I don't know what really Joe Lombardi does nowadays.
Give him his chewing gum.
The last time, that's a good one. The last time Joe Lombardi was calling plays didn't go very well. Yeah.
Yeah, when I initially saw that the Broncos brought him in, I was like, what are they doing? Then I was like, oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It literally doesn't matter.
They don't even give him the passing game coordinator, nothing like that. Nothing like an extra added title onto it. It's just like your offensive coordinator, but you don't call plays, you can't call audibles, you don't talk to the quarterback. Just go sit up in the booth and let me know what that receiver did off to the side.
Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad. My last one to finish up the draft, I just need a safety. So I had to go digging for this one, but I went and found Michael Huff.
I had him on my
Damn,
list too.
really?
Mhm.
I had him on my list too.
Damn.
Just because he failed expectations, man. I mean, 7th overall pick. I ended up playing for the Broncos a little bit too.
He was actually a pretty good player.
He's okay.
Just stuck in a horrible team.
Well, he was a Raider, so.
Yeah, he's with the Raiders at the when they were at the worst.
I feel like our whole teams that we all drafted, it's probably 50% Raiders.
Not 50, 75%.
Yeah, at least.
Okay, at least.
At
Okay.
least.
Thank you
has-
for correcting me.
I'm
Alden Smith,
pretty much all Raiders.
Y'all, Cleveland Farrell.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he almost like has every single Raider.
Yeah. Which,
Damn.
if you're trying to build a really bad defense, then start with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll round out with Michael Huff. Sorry, Michael Huff, if you're listening.
Edgar, you needed one more?
Yeah, I needed one more. I needed a safety, and I'm gonna go with Nick Ferguson. Honestly, like I said, looking him up, he might have been a good player, but didn't really show much of his stats. Just showed that he played a couple of years, and yeah.
Shout out Nick Ferguson, man. He was a pretty damn good player, actually, and he's still covering the Broncos. So.
Oh, he's okay. That's what he's better at.
That's a good one.
No, Nick Ferguson was a pretty damn good player, man. So
Was he a good player? Or did he exceed expectations?
Instead of covering the ball, he'd rather cover the team.
he was
a nice, solid player.
Yeah, because there's some times where you're like, all right, he was an undrafted guy or like a 6th round, 7th round pick that developed into a rotational guy. That's somebody that's like, oh, they exceeded expectations, so they were a good player.
Nick Ferguson was undrafted.
Oh, there you go. See? Exceeded expectations.
Yeah.
But if they
Absolutely.
were like a 1st round pick that had the same production that he did, you would say he was kind of a bust. Or he didn't play.
He had
He
like an
didn't live up to
11-year
expectations.
career, dude. I think even as a 1st round pick, I don't know if you go say bust.
Didn't live up to expectations. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that somebody with a 1st round draft pedigree can have a long career, but don't live up to the expectations of that 1st round pedigree.
It's fine, but it's not applicable here because he was undrafted.
I'm saying which category did he fall into?
Undrafted.
Okay.
So, yeah. Man, I think a flawless victory for me this time, boys. It was Edgar last week, but
Is there any picks? Are there any players that you guys had highlighted that you didn't get to pick or nobody else picked?
Wait, where the fuck should I start?
Yeah.
The whole Raiders.
J.C.
defense?
Jackson was for sure the one that I went with Arnett for obvious reasons, but if I couldn't get him, I was going to go J.C. Jackson for sure.
So I had Farrell, Zach Allen, and Larry English. Zach Allen is a good player, but like
He was
I said,
an all-pro.
But wait, hold on. But for me, it's like, but with like everybody else, as the like when I was looking at his shit, it just literally said like rotational, like all
You
this
must have
shit.
got some bad information, bro. He was an All-Pro this year.
Okay. Corey Littleton, the linebackers. Corey Littleton, Justin. Fuck, can't even pronounce his last name. Strnad.
Sternad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's more of a backup player. But when he
Yeah.
came in, he played pretty well this year, too. Looks like you were just fishing for Broncos, but, man, that's...
No, I just went on the fucking X thing and just fucking looked at all the
I had
linebackers.
for a corner. I had Chris Harris. Was he senior, junior, whatever he was? He changed his suffix at the end there.
I'm sorry.
Chris Harris
Chris Harris Jr. You're going to go with Chris Harris Jr.?
on the Chargers.
Oh, okay.
Because once he got to the Chargers, he was coming off of still great production with the Broncos, and when he got to the Chargers, it just kind of went downhill.
Okay.
So that's why I had him highlighted on the team, but as a Charger.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
I mean, he was obviously...
I also
great
had
with
a
Broncos.
Chargers, Jossier Taylor. He was like a 4th round pick. For some reason, they thought he was a good slot coverage guy, and just so happens that last year he gave up a perfect QB rating when targeted.
That's
Like
great.
perfect
Yeah.
QB rating when targeted.
Sounds
They
like,
went 100, like 100% when targeting him.
yeah, that's not very good.
Yeah, not good at all.
No.
Won't imagine him being on the team this upcoming season.
No.
Yeah, I'm surprised you guys didn't go with more of our first round corners. Garyon Conley, DJ Hayden, fucking. Who else?
Yeah, I had DJ Hayden on there. Who
Rest in
else?
peace, by the way.
Oh. I can't talk shit about him. Thanks, Edgar. The fuck? But I
we
also
talk
had
shit.
guys like Rolando McClain
Yeah, he's a good one.
as a linebacker because he did, like I said, he didn't live up to that first round.
But he didn't live up with us. When
Yeah.
he went to the Cowboys, he actually did pretty good.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. When he was with the Raiders.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's when he got arrested and he was like smiling when he was getting put in the car.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
And even I had Shaq Barrett when he was with the Broncos because he didn't do much with the Broncos, but then he got to Tampa Bay and he did well, and that's when he won the
Super
when they
Bowl.
won the Super Bowl, and he was a big part of that.
What about Randy Gregory? Was he good with the
Randy
Broncos?
Gregory too.
No,
I had
he
that.
was-
I had him on mine too.
He would have been a good pick. He was terrible.
Because I was in it, that was one pick that I was thinking, but I saw that he had like 8 sacks. I'm like, that's not too bad.
Shane Ray.
Shane Ray would have been a good one.
Yeah, I had him
thought
too.
about him. Yeah. Yeah, Shane Ray would have been a good one. He was a first round pick. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Didn't pan out. He ended up playing in Canada, I think. He might be playing in Canada now.
Since we have the offense, we have the defense, we have a coach and offensive coordinator. Right off the top of your head, where's the defensive coach?
Can I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Can I pick one that was the head coach that was the defensive coordinator?
Yeah.
He called the defensive
That's
plays.
fine. Yeah.
Brandon Staley.
Uh,
Brandon Staley. I
That's a
could
good
pick him Brandon Staley 10 times, and I think I win.
I can't.
He was the defensive coach, and he had the worst defense in the league.
I gotta fucking.
Yeah, he was pretty bad.
I looked at mine up. I can't think of one on the
Yeah,
top of my head.
blanket on defensive coordinators here.
Brandon Staley. You guys
Yeah.
can all use Brandon Staley, man.
Go over Brandon Staley, man. We'll just triple team Brandon Staley.
For us, for me, it's gonna be
Awesome.
Kent Norton Jr. He was defensive coordinator for the Seahawks before he came to the Raiders, and with the Raiders, nope.
And his name sounds like Cal Naughton Jr. from Talladega Nights. I can't even hate on that guy anymore, man. Take it back.
Well, that do it for us this week, boys?
So
Yeah. That comes right up on the hour mark here. So I think we'll call it a week. Call it a pod. Episode 4 down. We'll come back next week right before the draft. So we'll offer the little bit of draft analysis that we could offer here, the Third and Thirsty podcast.
I don't know how much of an analysis it'll be, but
yeah, we'll get into different players that we're hoping the Broncos take, the Chargers take, Raiders take.
At least positions of need, positions that we would like to see.
I know one player I don't want the Broncos to pick up. That's all I gotta say.
All right, well, that's a nice little tease for next week.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Well, episode 4 down. Cheers.
Cheers.
Screw the Steelers.